everyone, it's Micah. Welcome to our Wednesday reaction series where we are looking at all the number one songs of the 1980s. We are now up to November, the first 2 weeks of November in the year 1981, and the number one song for 2 weeks was Private Eyes by Daryl Hall and John Oates. This was their second number one song of 1981. We listened to Kiss on My List a few weeks back, a few months back, and I had kind of a middling review of that particular song, and part of it might have been the live performance that I happened to look at. I think I'm going to have a much more favorable opinion of this one. In general, I consider myself to be a fan of Hall & Oates, a casual fan, not like I buy all their albums kind of fan, but I've always really enjoyed their music. Kiss on My List was just not one of those songs that connected with me, and it's also a little before my time. I think Private Eyes was really when I was just starting to get into the general area, and this means general area, of the general orbit of popular music. It wasn't until '83 that I really started listening purposefully to top 40 music, but around this time I think I was peripherally more aware of songs, and so we're really getting into that threshold of when I really was in real time when these songs were out listening to them. And Private Eyes is one of those songs that I do distinctly remember from when it came out, or maybe slightly thereafter. Hall & Oates, classic duo, great pop R&B tunes, pop R&B rock tunes. I remember listening to them a lot in the dentist office when I was a kid, which is probably not the best endorsement of them, but it's just funny. That's just something that I recall, that the I guess the adult contemporary stations that they liked to play at the dentist office were big fans of, or they were big on those playlists on those stations. So I definitely recall Private Eyes, Maneater. Maybe it's just the one time I've zeroed in on the song Maneater being on the radio when I was at the office. I who knows, or maybe it was Muzak. My whole story's falling apart here. Let's just listen to the song before I have zero recollection that I can really pass along to you. Here's Private Eyes.
Know
Yes, I enjoyed that a lot. This is the Hall and Oates that I know and love. They're funny, they're clever, and they don't take themselves too seriously. And that comes through in this video very well. I think this is a great music video. Not, well, maybe great is an exaggeration, but it's a very solid music video. It captures their personalities. It slyly makes reference to the double entendre in the song. In case you hadn't noticed, they all do a wardrobe change where they flip into traditional gumshoe detective outfits from the film noir and whatever, like, novels, private eye novels, and so on and so forth. In case you hadn't noticed, when I'm uncomfortable with my word selection, that's when I shift in my seat. I just didn't want you to think I was unself-aware about that. Like, when I'm not sure what I'm saying. So there you go. There's a visual. There's a cue for your private eyes, and that really is what they're talking about here. They're talking about, what do you see that you don't think I see. And that happens in relationships. There's the things you say out loud and the things that you do on purpose, and then there's the things that happen when you're reading in between the lines. And it happens in every relationship, and this really talks about that dichotomy in a clever way. I mean, they do sort of run it into the ground and spend the whole song talking about, my private eyes are watching you. They definitely belabor the point, but it's such a catchy lyric that you don't really get mad at them. But it's a great way of capturing a very real dynamic in, I would say, every romantic relationship. So there's not really much more to say about this song. It's just a tightly constructed, really straight down the middle pop song with some rock instrumentation, and of course the bluesy flourishes that Daryl Hall has in his voice. It's just there's no mystery at all. No pun intended with the song and the imagery. There's no mystery at all about why the song was a number one hit. It really is super catchy. It's clever on one level that is easily understood, and just clever enough that it's fun, but not too clever that people won't get it or think that it's being obtuse. So just kind of a home run of a pop music single, and was rewarded with 2 weeks at the top. That's about all I have to say about that. So next week, we are going to get into one of the quintessential 80s songs, an 80s song that trumps most other 80s songs as an 80s song. This next week, we will be looking at the legendary, the one-of-a-kind, the 10 weeks at number one, spanning 1981 and 1982, Physical by Olivia Newton-John. I am excited to look at the workout themed video for that and listen to the song again when we go through that next week. So please join me then. Until then, please like this video if you indeed liked it. Please subscribe to the channel if you feel so inclined. There's only 3 things for me to remember, and somehow I still struggle with it. And make music better.